loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
You're listening to Milwaukee Black Talk on 1017 FM.
The Truth.
And 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee. A Milwaukee Black media company.
Yes. Welcome back. Thank you, Shannon and Ray, for tuning people's ears to 101.7 The Truth. You're in the Grapevine with me, your host, Manan Sabir, and this is going to be a good one. We got a great show for y'all. We got a really, really good show for y'all. So I'm going to set the table real quick. We got one of the Milwaukee's sharpest financial minds, Erica Odom, in the building. She's joining us. We're going to talk about building wealth, protecting your money, breaking generational financial habits, and whatever else is on her mind. We're just going to at least give her the opportunity. How you doing, Erica?
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. How's everything going with you? How's your day?
It's good, busy per usual.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You
Never a dull moment.
Say it again. Okay, here we go.
It's never a dull moment.
Yes, I understand. So I want to jump right in because I like to always humanize folks, especially when I give them the interviews. So we're gonna humanize you. Who are you, Erica?
So I am Erica Odom. Most people know me as Coach Erica. I am the owner and founder of Odom Investments in Property Management. There's lots that I do: speaker, published author, real estate investor, social worker. The list goes on.
Oh my gosh. Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you first, or when you read your resume, what do you say to yourself in the back of your mind?
Where did I have time to do all the things that I do? No, but that's truly what I say, but it all relates. People that follow me and know who I am know that I reference the journey a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's truly been a journey to success for me, and my journey to success is continuing. And everything that I've built, from being a public speaker, being an author, being a success coach, real estate investor, establishing my business, everything relates back to the journey, and it has continued to build on top of each other and grow.
Your growth is of course mirrored by the businesses that you start and also have success in. What is the one challenge that you are always facing per day? I think people, they see the success but don't see the underlying challenges.
There is multiple challenges on what I like to call this journey to success. One of them, just really understanding that I always like, when I talk to people, I always like to say, success is a process. And I think it took me some time to understand that. Like, we live now, especially in a society, everybody wants everything fast, right? Like the microwave. You want 1 minute and you want success, you want your big blow up. But just really understanding, like when we talk about challenges, that success is a process. It takes time. You have to prepare it. You have to grow it. You may take a couple steps back. You may take a couple steps forward, but it truly is a process. And just really having that endurance to keep going, because every day is not perfect. And there's a lot that comes with success: the long days, long nights, me personally, experiencing, just changes. People that you thought would be there is no longer there.
Right.
A lot of times you're going through the process yourself. So there's several different challenges, but just again, relating back to why are you doing everything that you're doing and what keeps you going, what keeps that endurance, so you don't give up on your journey to success.
Now, I think beyond the title of financial guru, which title are you most proud of?
So, let me see. Which title am I most proud of? I'm gonna say that I'm really proud of Coach Erica. So
Why?
as I mentioned earlier, because let me tell you, Coach Erica, even though she's mean, let me tell you about Coach
Tell
Erica.
me about Coach
Coach
Erica,
Erica,
girl.
let me tell you about her. Because listen, you do not want to play with Coach Erica.
Do
Coach
not play,
Erica
y'all.
is do not. She is a true definition of a go-getter. She believes in herself. She's a true hustler, and she gets up every day with intention.
Yeah.
And that is my number one thing that I preach to people that follow me. You got to get up with intention. My favorite saying is we all get the same 24 hours in a day, but the only question is from person to person is what are you going to do with your 24 hours of the day?
Right.
Every individual in this world is going through something. I don't care if you're black, white, rich, poor. Everybody has problems, and you can sit and talk all day long about what it is that you have going on, but are you going to get up today with intent? Are you going to get up today and make moves, or are you going to stay stagnant? And Coach Erica, she doesn't stay stagnant, and she believes in herself. She's confident. She has really taken her talent and just pushed it to grow in all areas. One being my most recent success, I actually a couple weeks ago was just in Miami filming. So now
Woo-hoo.
Coach Erica has
That's
entered.
my second home.
She has entered another hat. So I had the opportunity to cast on an episode on the Inside Success TV network called Women in Power. So that was something very new for me, very different. But just again, just speaking on those strides and that growth and just continuing to push on that journey to success.
How did that opportunity come about?
So it was very, very unexpected. That's why I say like I'm learning that whatever is for you is just gonna naturally come to you. Cause I honestly wasn't looking for it. I happened to be online one day and I saw that they were mentioning that they were casting, and I was like, I'm just going to inquire. I'm just curious. So for me, it was just initial out of curiosity,
Yeah.
inquiry to see like what it would go. But then I had my meeting with the casting manager and I'm being recorded and she's like asking me all these questions and I'm like, oh, this is real. So totally unexpected, but true story. And then like literally I didn't think anything of it. And I want to say by 12 o'clock the next day, I had an email basically saying, oh my God, the production team loved you. They loved your story. We absolutely have to have you on the episode. And everything went from there. And here we are. And now in the next 3 to 6 months, the episode will be out.
Wow. And how long did you stay in Miami?
I was only in Miami for a couple days.
Yeah.
When I was down there, it was like a day of recording,
Okay.
but just a couple days. Of course, I had to enjoy just a little bit.
You
since
did.
I was there.
And
I did.
Miami's pretty different. Miami's different from Milwaukee, but in a lot of ways, Milwaukee and Miami rival each other in a lot of ways. If you jump outside of the tourist areas, what I recognize, although there are some similarities, there are a lot of complexities that are completely different. And I know that if you look at Miami and the wealth that's being generated there, it dwarfs the wealth that's being generated here in Milwaukee. So how can Milwaukee, as a Milwaukeean, I'm taking you of born and raised here, how can people build wealth in Milwaukee?
Well, there's several ways to build wealth, but just because of my line of work and what I do, I'm always going to promote home ownership. I'm always going to say that individuals stop renting and purchase you a home. Start investing in yourself, whatever that looks like as far as investments for you. But just really start building back up in the community. here at the business, one of the things that we offer as a service is property management.
Yeah.
And so we work with real estate investors from all across the world that purchase homes here in Milwaukee. And so how do we like stop that part of it and start having our own people here invest right here in the city? There's lots of properties and opportunities out there, but we just got to get out here and start making those investments back into our own community, so people outside of the community can't continue to keep coming in and purchasing here, because that's exactly what's going on right now.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? That's easy for you to say, Erica. I'm just acting.
It is.
But that's easy for you to say, you have this and this and that. I just have, this part-time weekend job, and I'm struggling to pay this bill over here, and you're asking me to buy a house. What does the coach say?
Yep. And I have a great comeback for that, because I have people tell me that all the time. And that's why my name is called Coach Erica, because I'm going to push you on that mindset and that thought. Yes, that's true. And yes, that's a lot of people's situation. But going back to my own personal story, when I got into real estate, I didn't have a ton of money. I wasn't born into wealth. My story goes back 20 years now from when I first initially entered into real estate, and I actually failed very horribly, and I actually suffered very financially, and had to pull myself pretty much out of a pit to get back to the point of where I needed to get back to, which comes to the fast forward to 2017. So I always like to really put myself out here to let people know you can do whatever you want to do, regardless of what you think the challenge is. When we talk about finances, you're looking at a real person right now, me, somebody who has experienced credit card debt, student loan debt, filing bankruptcy twice, living paycheck to paycheck, not having enough to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So when I speak from truth. I speak from personal experience. So I'm somebody who can sit across on the other side and say, yes, I absolutely do know how you feel and know what that's like to feel like you can't get there. But I'm here to let people know in the world, yes, you can get there. I would encourage you, start connecting with people. Start being intentional about where you put yourself at in rooms, so you can get fed information, so you can come into contact with people like myself who can give you information, pour into you, and lead and guide you into the next directions. There's always a way. There's always a way. Even in real estate, there's always a way. And there's several resources out there, grants, just different things that can help people, for example, with home ownership.
And when we come back, we're going to try to take some calls. And also, you guys, if you are on the YouTube chat, hit us up on the Truth Radio 101.7. We're live with Erica Odom, our financial guru. We'll be right back.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
The performing arts do more than entertain. They bring the community together. From live performances and arts education to free community events, UPath helps support the organizations that keep southeastern Wisconsin vibrant. But it only happens because of people like you. Every gift helps keep the arts accessible and inspiring for the entire community. Join thousands of supporters and give today at upaf.org. UPath. One gift, regional impact.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call TELNICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Grapevine with Erica Odom, our financial guru. Man, she is in the building. She's dropping these gems. We're going to pick some more grapes. But first, before we pick these grapes with Erica Odom, make sure you give us a call, 833-212-1017. This is a very, very important lady in the city of Milwaukee, and she's dropping these gems about finances, housing. She even got you're a social worker too. We even talk about social work. If you got problems, Erica got the solutions. 833-212-1017. What's up, Erica? Tell me, let's take a step back. Let's talk about if I had $1. If I had $1, what would you do? What's the first thing a person does when they get their paycheck? What should they do?
So, number one, my question would be making sure you have a budget. Budgeting is important. You got to know what you have to know what you can spend.
Yeah.
Savings, having everybody I work with, I encourage them to have some sort of emergency fund.
How much?
And I know what you're going to say.
How much?
I know what you're going to say. Well, how can I save if I can't save? And I have a response for that. So my response is I tell people, because I'm telling you, finances start with mindset. If your mindset is not in the right place, I can talk to you all day long. You can sit in every single workshop. But if you are not truly ready to change here, everything will stay the same. And mindset plays a big role when it comes to your finances, how you think about things and your perspective on things. And I'm going to touch this with savings. The way I look at savings and teach people savings is traction. Do you have traction? Think about the snow. We're a snow state. When a car go down the road, you see those car tracks from the tires. It has traction. And your savings is the same way. I don't care if you could save $5 a check, $5 a week, whatever that looks like, 20, 50, 100. But saving something is better than nothing.
Right.
Saving something is going to give you traction. $5 a week, a day, whatever that looks like, adds up over time compared to someone who is not saving anything at all. You have nothing to fall back on. You have no traction whatsoever. But savings is just one portion. But my next question is, how are you going to make your money grow? Are you investing in anything? Are you getting a return from investing in something, whether it be a Roth IRA, whether it's you getting you a business started, whether it's you doing real estate, whatever that looks like. But your money needs to be saving, but it also needs to be working for you in some form of capacity.
So let me ask you a question about medical debt. So medical debt is the number one cause of bankruptcy in America, or at least one of the major ones. And black families are hit the hardest. Am I right?
Yes, they are. It can be challenging. Yes.
So what can we do in that case in medical debt? Because I know a lot of people they get into an accident, whatever it is, broken arm, broken leg, playing basketball at Lincoln Park, boom, no insurance. All of a sudden, it's a $10,000 medical bill.
Right. So with medical debt, and this is me kind of speaking on my experience as a social worker.
Okay, there we go. See, I told you. You got the answers.
I am actually a hospital social worker. So I see this stuff all the time. So when it comes to any type of debt, whether it's medical debt or just any other forms of debt, there's ways to go about it. Am I going to sit here and say that every situation is going to be the same for every individual? No, it's not. It's going to be situation to situation. But with medical debt, most of the time, what I would tell people, connect with your social worker. They have financial counselors in most hospitals where you can get, whether that be some type of financial assistance towards the bill and or some type of payment plan to help you get that bill paid down. So I would definitely say start by starting there.
I like that. Is it better to pay off debt first or to start investing? A lot of people now are, they're doing Robinhood, the fractional investing with Square, or was it? Yeah, is it Square? Cash App, and other platforms. And people are starting to make, they're making $1 or $200 here and there. But is it good to start paying off debt or start investing first?
So I'm going to pose the question, can you build wealth with debt? Is the question I want people to think about. I have mixed feelings on this because I could go either way with this conversation. But I'm going to be an advocate to say that you should get rid of your debt. You should definitely, if you are in position to and can find the ways to do so, I would definitely say try to get rid of the debt, get the debt off of you, then start building up the wealth for yourself. If you're in position where, and again, it's going to look different person to person because I don't know how much debt we're talking about. We could be talking about a $5,000 debt. We could be talking about a $30,000 debt.
Yeah.
So it's going to look different based on that situation. But I'm going to be an advocate to say that you should try to get rid of your debt first. Get rid of the debt, give yourself an opportunity to have a fresh start, and then really start focusing on building yourself back up and finding ways to get a return on your investment. The 3 ways that I mentioned earlier, some of the fastest ways, forming in some type of investment overall, stocks, Roth IRAs, home ownership as far as real estate investing, or some type of business income. But I'm going to say get rid of the debt. We don't want to have any debt.
No debt. And also inflation. Inflation has people feeling really squeezed. People are feeling like there's rising costs in gas and fees and when you hit the ATM or, prices at the grocery store. What should families be doing? What should families be doing right now?
Well, I would say definitely staying ahead. And how do you stay ahead of what's going on? Going back to what I mentioned earlier, just taking those simple steps. Are you tracking what you're spending? A lot of times I'll use this one. I talk about this a lot, just, something simple that relates to everybody. You get up in the morning, you get your day going, whatever that looks like. If you're a Starbucks person, you're stopping at Starbucks to get that coffee. If you are a Quick Trip person, you're stopping at Quick Trip to get whatever goodies you're going to get. All of that matters. Every single spending matters. And we don't tap and tune into it a lot, but everything counts. And if I were to challenge you to think about how much you're spending on that coffee every day, how much are you spending on Quick Trip every day? Those type of things add up. So am I saying that you can't, live your life and enjoy a cup of coffee? No.
Right.
That's okay to do, but we got to do things in moderation. How are you tracking your everyday spending expenses? Are you budgeting? Are you spending above your means, spending monies that you don't have? Just because you have a credit card doesn't mean that you get to spend it. Okay.
Yep.
Just because you have savings in your account doesn't mean that you just spend because you have savings. You should be spending in the event of an emergency. That's why it's called an emergency savings.
Right.
Again, going back to the investment piece, if you are in position to do so, I would definitely say, taking steps to try to start building some extra income for yourself outside of if you're working or whatever that looks like that you're doing, trying to really get those investments going for yourself. I would recommend that.
Right. So I guess I have a difficult question. My difficult question is, and I know you probably get this every blue moon, we have families that are in the alternative life and they're making cash and they want to get out the life, but they don't know how and where to put this particular cash. And I know this is a sensitive subject, but I think it has to also be said too that people of all genres need to be saved in some way. So what would you say to those individuals? I think this is a part of your social background too.
So if this is the alternative life that I'm thinking in my head,
and also gig workers too. We could talk about gig workers.
That I think you're referencing to, you're asking me what can they do with their money?
Yes.
So I would encourage them depending on their situation, to try to at least start getting into real estate.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
Yeah.
Definitely get into real estate. Real estate is my main thing that I do. And again, talking for somebody with over 20 plus years and who has taken losses in real estate and built herself back up in her real estate journey.
You said 2
Real
bankruptcies.
estate,
Yeah.
I've done 2 bankruptcies. I've lost a house to a short sale. So again, I'm not just talking. I'm talking from things that I've personally dealt with personally on my own real estate journey. I would encourage them to definitely get into real estate. Real estate, if you have the opportunity to get into it and you go about it the right way and have the right strategy, it can put you in position to be very wealthy and very successful if done correctly. But on the flip side of that, if not done correctly, it can also put you in a very bad financial situation.
Some people jump into real estate and they think it's fast money.
Oh my God, I hear that all the time. Oh, I'm going to get into real estate. I'm going to flip these houses and I'm going to make all this money. And it's like, it's really not that simple. There's a lot of layers in real estate. And, I would be interested in hearing what other real estate people have to say. But in real estate, you got to have a solid team. You got to have a solid team. You're just one piece of the pie. But the other pieces of the pie, they all come together to make everything happen. And, even, a lot of people don't think about this piece. Your accountant. Having an accountant, because when you get that check at closing, right, that you just made, you got to pay taxes on that. So you need to know about different things. Like, do you know about a 1031 exchange account? Do you know, are you consulting with an accountant to figure out how you're going to maneuver this money? And that's what I mean, like not having those people on your team, not having those basic concepts can get you in a lot of trouble very quickly. So yes, you can make a lot of money, but you definitely need to have your team of contractors, the realtor, the appraiser, the home inspector. There's so many different layers to it.
Well, that's amazing because I think you hit the nail on the head when you're talking about, all of those layers in relationship to the real estate. Real estate game isn't a fast game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Correct?
Yes. Correct. It takes time. And then you have to figure out what your niche is. Like me, I have experience in doing fix and flips. I've done fix and flips. I've done buy and holds. Right now, my business, we do property management. I do project management. So I've experienced just all different areas of real estate. So you got to really find out what works for you. I know a lot of investors, we all do things differently, and that's okay. And I tell people, like, you don't have to go about it the way I go about it. You need to find a system that works for you. And if your system is working, keep repeating that system if it's working for you, and continue to leverage and build your portfolio and go from there. But it just depends on what it is that you're looking to do.
I like that. Erica Odom, thank you so much for the love and attention you've given us on this platform on the Truth 101.7 FM. You have definitely dedicated a period of today's time to the Grapevine, and we really appreciate it. Erica Odom. You guys, where can we find you at, Erica?
We are all over. So you can start by the website. Website is odomhomes.com. You can call into the office 1-855 Odom Way if you want to talk to us directly. We're on social platforms. Odom Investments and Property Management is on Instagram and Facebook. And I myself, Coach Erica, is also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So it's easy to find me or the business.
Hey, y'all. Thank you, Erica Odom. And thank you all for listening to her. This is fantastic. These are gems that we need in Milwaukee, in the state of Wisconsin, and also in the country. Everybody, we're all aiming to work our way upwards. Erica, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Bye-bye.
The African American Roundtable, black-led organization on Milwaukee's far northwest side, has launched a safety campaign rooted in the basic need of food access. It's called Feed the Change MKE. Through community engagement, AART learned that easy access to and education about locally sourced and fresh food would help people feel healthier and safer. Also, local food providers need to learn how to engage the community, build awareness, and stay in our community long term. So Feed the Change MKE encourages people to know, grow, prepare, and share food, especially from community-owned and operated stores, gardens, markets, and other culturally relevant sources. We can't rely on big corporations to meet these needs. That's why we must demand the city to invest $1 million into the Healthy Food Establishment Fund, formerly called the Fresh Food Access Fund. Join AART's campaign to win a dignified and choiceful system that we all can thrive in. Visit AARTMKE.org to learn more about Feed the Change MKE.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Yes. Welcome back to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir, and we just got done talking to Erica Odom, and she was dropping the gems about real estate and finances, especially in Milwaukee, and what we can do to be more financially healthy and wealthy in our community and also our state and also our family. So remember, the views and ideas of our guests are related to our guests and not of the Truth Nation 101.7 radio. So remember that we have many ideas and topics that are coming up for the rest of the show. So please stay tuned. We have Michael Jordan Payton coming up, and he's going to be talking about his life and role as it relates to being a recipient of the Sean Carter Foundation and Gloria Carter Foundation scholarship. He was a award recipient not too long ago, and then he turned around and did a documentary, a full-fledged official documentary of the Murder Inc. family, and then also a interview with Jay-Z. So we will be talking to him in about 25 minutes. So I had a really interesting talk with someone who was giving me the heads up, and the heads up was in relationship to the Black church and the Black church and how it is keeping us sick. And I looked up a a study, and the study was about black men who attend church almost daily have significantly higher odds of experiencing obesity compared to those who rarely or never attend, nearly twice as likely. And so the potential causes are frequent potlucks. So if you know that in a black church, potlucks are usually, for what I expect, potlucks are usually given possibly either Wednesdays and or Sundays or both, and they have more than likely most potlucks are given in the basement of a church, especially here in the North, not necessarily in the South all the time. But I have been a part of many churches who have potlucks, fellowship meals, and they also focus on communal gathering over maybe even some physical, and also physical activity may contribute. But men heavily involved in church leadership may also prioritize faith commitments over personal health and self-care. So, for example, we have men who, and this is a study that was actually completed in 2019, but is still relevant to today. We have men who prioritize their faith over personal health. And we have to realize when we're doing that and we're prioritizing our faith over our personal health, is not to say that we're competing. We're setting up a competition between faith and health. It is synonymous, and they parallel each other. So remember, if we are in church and we have denominational differences, most denominations prioritize health, but over a period of time, our Baptist folks, Baptist black church folks, are the ones that are the cornerstone of health risk by a long run. And this is a huge topic, because I think that most folks that are in church are there, for good reasons. They're there to give themselves over to the Lord in one way or the other. They're doing their work every Sunday. They wake up, they get themselves ready. Most people don't eat. They eat probably a light breakfast or whatever it is, and then they go on to church. After church, they then either fellowship downstairs, or they go over to the local diner, whatever the diner is. It could be a restaurant, whatever it is, and then they they go to their relative's house, as most folks do, and call it a day. But what's in that food is of concern to most folks. That is collard greens, chicken, what else? Collard greens, chicken, you name it. Like it's all over the place. And one thing I do see are there's not much regulation when it comes to individuals regulating the ingredients that are placed inside of these dishes. So, folks, if you go to a black church and you have experienced a potluck / communal dinner, lunch, whatever it is, and it's a heavy plate, it's food that rivals fast food, give us a call, 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. We have pastors that when they are congregating, they're getting their members together, they're doing the pastoral thing, they're preaching, they're giving the word. What are our pastors, and I want to know, what are our pastors preaching about in relationship to health, wellness, and the likes? What are our pastors preaching about? Because what we do see is our partners, our local churches frequenting these types of potlucks where the meals are based around soul food. And that gives that even the word soul food, it's, if you have that, even the context of the word, if you have that every Sunday, it's going to contribute to a lot of comorbidities, not just, overweight or obesity, being fat, right? It's going to contribute to hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and also, it can graduate into something even greater. Or, these are items or comorbidities that you can ultimately perish from. A lot of times I do recognize that, especially now, there are a few churches, and I want to celebrate these particular churches because they're transitioning some churches into health sanctuaries, because the church holds an immense trust. Many congregations now actively combat obesity through faith-based interventions, plant-based meals at church events, walking groups. So I'm not necessarily coming down on the Black church, but we want to know, can we ultimately eliminate the idea of having unhealthy meals during our potluck and also fellowship meal times? Is it possible? Because not only is obesity a state of emergency, but also food apartheid. And we as a church going community, we cannot support the food apartheid that we're actually running away from. Hey y'all, when we come back, we're going to continue our food apartheid and also Black church discussion. My name is Manan Sabir. This is the Grapevine. Let's take a break, Zach.
Make your home and family safer by properly getting rid of nasty chemicals and fire hazards. MMSD's Home Hazmat program offers 3 drop-off centers that are open all year long. It's fast and easy. You don't even have to get out of your car. And it's free to visit the drop-off. Lithium-ion batteries, old gas, propane tanks, they take all of that and more. For a list of things you can and cannot bring, locations and hours, go to MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only. No businesses.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Welcome back, Milwaukee. You're listening to the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir, and we are back with On the Truth Radio 101.7, and we're going to have a really, really good show coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, the 2 p.m. Central Time hour. On the last part of our show, we're going to continue to discuss our black obesity, black church health topics, because I think this is really, really important. But first, I want to give everybody a time to listen, and a time of self-reflection from me. I asked a friend of ours and a friend of our station, partner of our station, a topic and a question that was not becoming of our station and also of myself. But I was to ask a question that was in relationship to gig work, but it came out in a kind of a off-putting way, and we want to make sure that as a community on the truth and also as a part of the Grapevine that we hold ourselves to the highest of standards. So we have a caller on line one. Marlon, line one.
Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Marlon, for calling in. Definitely want to talk to you about this.
So I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. The problem is our mentality in the black community. Just like you talk about whoopings and stuff, everybody like, well, I got whooped and I'm an okay person. You know what I mean? I think that's the same thing with food.
Right.
We have to start thinking different. We have to start doing things different. You don't have to do everything with pork.
Right.
My grandfather, he had heart disease. And I remember when he first had his first heart attack, the doctor told him, you can't eat nothing from inside of pig.
Right.
A lot of us eat chitlins and all that kind of stuff. So he told him you can't eat anything from inside the pig, and which changed our diet in our family.
Right.
We did a lot more stuff with turkey and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you get these people who are like traditionalists, if you want to say that, and they say, oh, it doesn't taste the same, and it doesn't do this or it doesn't do that. And, and I think the other thing with food in general is moderation, right?
Right.
I can't eat greens with pork every Sunday. You know what I mean? I can maybe do it maybe once, twice a quarter maybe, but yeah, never we should be doing it every single, because actually greens are good for you. It's just the way that we cook them and the stuff we put in them.
Right.
So that is actually where we got to be in, because, any natural green leafy is really good for your body. It's just the way you prepare them. And that's just a mind shift that we got to go through. So we could do it, you know what I mean? But I think it's interesting how you said that men who go to church are more likely to be obese. And is that, I know you said it's a potluck, but I'm also wondering what other situations also help that out as well.
Yeah.
But that's just an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question for you. I had a question for you, just real quick. You go to church every weekend?
No. I stepped away from the church but I grew up in the church. I went to church all the way till I was probably about 45. I'm now 50, but yes.
Okay, and when you were in church, did you experience, the church meals down in the basement, or?
Oh yeah.
And
definitely.
What was the I guess what were the meals consistent of?
A lot of times it had to do with fried chicken, right? That was one of them. A lot of greens or potato salad.
Right.
A lot of like caramel cakes and pecan pie and, coconut cake and a lot of stuff like that. It depends on the time of year, really, it seemed like, what the main meal was, but pretty much every single time fried chicken was there, and a lot of, you get a lot of salt in fried chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's part of it as well, was basically the fried chicken. And then sometimes they have baked chicken, but you could always tell like the fried chicken would go first and then people would go to the baked chicken, but the fried chicken definitely would go first. Ham sometimes, and then, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, normally a lot of chicken. A lot of fried chicken was probably the most dominant thing.
Right. So just last question. So did
no problem.
Did the pastor or the person in charge did they give any?
No.
You already know what I'm about to say.
Yeah. Because you asked a question, and I was thinking about it. I have never heard any pastor at any church that I ever went to speak about health and wellness.
Mm.
Now I know that we have, what is that, Evolve Church?
Yeah.
And from what I understand, that Pastor Locke, he does a lot of different things. But again, I've only been there a couple of times, but I haven't never heard him talk about health and wellness from the pulpit. You know what I mean? And so it'd be interesting for somebody who goes to church there if he talks about that. But realistically, I have never heard any black pastor ever in my life, and I'm 52 years old, like I said, I have never heard any pastor talk about health and wellness from the pulpit.
Marlon, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because this is a really fantastic conversation. But I wanted to actually go to the chat, and the chat says, let's go, Erica, Grapevine, Manon. Shaky says great info. Maybe Shannon says great conversation. Maybe Shannon says teamwork makes the dream work for us. For sure. Sherry Harris said good conversation, important information shared. Shaky 8 says I'm excited for him to talk about his journey. Do you have a savings account? We had took a poll, and the savings, most people said yes, they do. 17% said no, and 8% said they have multiple savings accounts. That's a poll of out of 12 people. Pastor Ashford definitely does from Biko Baker. That's true. I think Pastor Ashford definitely does. I don't know as many pastors. It should be an overwhelmingly amount of individuals that are talking about health and wellness, especially in the Black church. I think for many generations, the Black church has been the heartbeat of the community, and it's carried us through slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, the civil rights movement, funerals, baptisms, weddings, and every storm in between. But here's my question. Can the place that helped save our souls, also can it help save our bodies? And I think that's a huge topic that should also ring true in our communities and also our churches. Can the place that helps save our souls help save our bodies? You look at a lot of the funerals that we go to, a lot of the baptisms, weddings, you name it. We're looking to enjoy ourselves, but also how far are we getting how far to the left are we getting when we're talking about food in the Black church? This is a healthy conversation. I wanted to see if we can get more people on to talk about the Black church and how we can change the narrative on food in the Black church, especially our Sunday services, our Wednesday services, and also some of the special events that go on in the church. But it's not just the church. It's not just the church. It's the church. It's the mosque. It's the other temples and other places that we have large gatherings. So when we come back, we're going to talk to Michael Jordan Payton. He is the Sean Carter, Dr. Gloria Carter scholarship recipient that then turned around and developed a official Murder Inc. That's right, documentary, and then turned that around and wound up interviewing Jay-Z, the Jay-Z, with the locks, not the fro. Hey, y'all, when we come back, make sure you tune in at 2 o'clock because we have Michael Jordan Payton, 833-212-1017. Make sure you either give us a call during the show or hit us up on the chat. Zach, let's take a break.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself,
every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Milwaukee Black Talk
on 101.7 FM.
The Truth. And 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee. A Milwaukee Black media company.
Yes. Welcome back. I really appreciate everybody tuning in to the Truth Radio 101.7, and I'm your host, Manan Sabir. We are in the building. We have a very, very special guest. Before we start with our special guest, real quick, because I definitely want to introduce him, make sure you tune your phones to 833-212-1017. That is our call-in number. You can also find us on the Truth Radio YouTube channel, Truth Radio Live. Please give a round of applause. Tune your ears and minds to good brother Michael Jordan Payton from Oakland, California. Am I right, Michael?
Hold on now. Let me get my equipment set up.
Okay. Oh no, take your time, man. I know you're used to this. Anyway. Can you hear?
Yo.
You all good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Man, so just to give a proper introduction, I usually try to give proper introductions depending on who the person is, right? So real quick, our next guest, Michael Jordan Payton, you lived at the intersection of culture, right? You were a storyteller. You're a man of excellence. I call you a black man.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're a recipient of both the Sean Jay-Z Carter Foundation Scholarship and the Gloria Carter Scholarship. You are a king. I'm gonna keep giving you affirmations throughout this entire interview, my brother.
I appreciate that.
But you're also famously a writer and documentarian of the Murder Inc. documentary, correct?
Yes, sir.
You turned around.
Yes, sir.
You took that. You took that. You took that, and you flipped it. You flipped it, and you went and you interviewed one of the greatest MCs in hip hop, by the name of Jay-Z. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Hove.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. Whose shoulders are you standing on?
Oh man, I'm standing on everybody's shoulders, man. I'm like you said, man, proud black man. I'm originally born and raised in Oakland, California. I reside in LA right now, but born and raised with that Panther spirit in me, man. I come from a whole family of revolutionaries and people who think how do we make this thing different? How do we make this thing better?
Yeah.
And so to step back a little bit, yeah, man. So I actually received the it's the Sean Carter Scholarship Foundation, received their scholarship when I was in undergrad, when I was 18, 19 years old. I'm 35 now, so tells you how long ago it was. But when I was in undergrad, I grew up listening to Jay's music. I grew up like really admiring his hustle. He was one of the reasons why I even got into the entertainment / at the time music business at the time. And so studying his moves, I learned that he had a scholarship that he and his mother had founded for kids like myself who were underprivileged and wanted to go to college and make things better. So I'm like, let me, as I'm applying to scholarships and applying to get funding, I applied. Didn't think I was going to get it, honestly, because they were on the East Coast. I was on the West Coast. So it was like, there's no way, they probably got a ton of people. But lo and behold, they granted me the scholarship, put me all the way through college from the time I was from my freshman year to my senior year. I actually had to do an extra year.
Hey, look,
and they support
everybody has done an extra year.
I think I did an extra year and a half, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But they supported me all the way through, and it's crazy. So fast forward, I end up, going to NYU for grad school, and while I was there, I made a YouTube video about Murder Inc. And Irv Gotti, who is, was a longtime collaborator and great friend of Jay's and all that.
Right.
End up putting it on YouTube. It went viral. Irv, long story short, saw it, asked me to be the actual director of the Murder Inc. story that ended up on BET. And for that documentary, I ended up interviewing Jay-Z, who was a big part of Irv and Murder Inc.'s story.
Right.
And when I told Jay-Z about, you put me through school and now I'm here with you, it just kind of blew his mind. He sat there, put me on the phone with his mom. I've been in contact and working with them ever since. This is like 3-4 years ago now. So crazy full circle moment. And shout out to hip hop, man. Hip hop is what raised me and why I'm here with y'all today.
What did your childhood teach you that still influences your everyday decision?
Oh man, how to survive.
Yeah.
Coming from the hood, man, we know how to survive, and not only survive in a sense of, how do you get through this day and pay this bill or whatever, or eat today, but also survive in the sense of like surviving with your mental health intact. Surviving. And like one thing I can say about being from where I'm from, we know how to make, $1 out of 15 cents, right, as Tupac said, right? Like we know how to take nothing and make something out of it, right? Like how Pac said, "Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving." We didn't have the most money growing up,
right?
But we never missed a meal. We never missed a holiday. We never missed, I have an amazing childhood, right? I have an amazing, a lot of memories. So that carries with me to this day, because being in this business is a tough business.
Yeah.
Don't curse on the radio, but it's a tough business, man. And you have living out here in LA and Hollywood, where everybody is just, coming for everybody. Everybody's kind of looking out for themselves.
Right.
In many ways, to have that ability to kind of fall back and like, you know what, I'm good regardless. Even on my bad days, I still am able to see the joy and see the beauty. Like, things might not go my way today with this meeting, but you know what? The sun is shining. I'm gonna go outside and get me some fresh air and enjoy some coffee. And like just basic things like how to survive your mental health, right? And not let the BS become you. I think that's the biggest thing I took from my childhood.
And the mental health piece is a really huge piece, because a lot of us as Black men, we go through it a lot. I think that's why you have people like, Rockefeller come together. They're not just, trying to make a hip hop record and survive the streets, but they're also trying to survive the realities of mental health trauma that their families have been granted in a sense, right? You went from Oakland to meeting Irving, right?
Irving Lorenzo.
Yeah, right. And so now both of you are, almost bound at the hip, just because you took some of your pain, all right, and you put it in a film, and you were like, man, this is gonna get me to the next place. But I wonder who saw greatness in you first.
Oh, I mean, without a shadow of doubt, my mom.
Yeah. What's her name? What's her name?
My mom, Cookie. We'll call her Cookie. That's the name she went by.
Right on.
God rest her soul. So the crazy story behind that is that So I was at NYU and made this documentary film, this YouTube documentary, put it on YouTube. And then I want to say maybe 3 months later, my mom tragically just passed away out of nowhere.
I'm sorry.
No, thank you, man. It was a shock because I was her only child. I didn't know anything was wrong with her. I thought she was okay. And just out of nowhere, she's gone.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is that the day of her service, is when I get the message from Irv that he had saw my doc. He DM'd me like randomly out of nowhere. Like he didn't know me. I didn't know him personally, right? Like, but he like, yo, somebody told me to watch this unauthorized doc of me, and he made a post on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, whoever knows this Michael Payton guy, somebody find him, please.
Let me ask you a question though. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I want you to continue, but I would be remiss not to ask this question. And where were you when you got that message? Because this is an important point.
Very important. No, it's very important.
Yeah.
No, it's very important. So I'll not to get long-winded, but we were at my mom's service. We did, the burial and everything. And I was just, I was broken up. I was done. I was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm gonna get on, but my cousins, shout out to my family. They were like right there supporting me. I was like, what can we do to kind of like just get my mom for everything? The movie Us was just on was coming out, but Jordan Peele directed the movie Us.
Yep.
So I was like, yo, let's go see the movie Us, and I just want to do something. So where I was at is as I was sitting down in the theater, I just had my popcorn. Just when they tell you like turn your phones off, right? So I was like, you're gonna turn my phone off, and I looked on my Instagram, and my Instagram notification was going crazy, and that's why I seen the post from Irv, and that's when we ended up and lo and behold, he was in the movie theater watching Us too, not the same one, but he was in the movie theater watching Us at the same time that I was watching it.
Yeah,
it's a crazy story. It's the craziest story. Irv was like an angel to me because he I literally told him like, bro, you understand, like, your DM. He's like, yeah, I want you to work, but I want to talk to you and get to know you because like you did a great job. And I was like, man, you don't understand how much this means to me. Just like you, I mean, honestly, I didn't know at the time it was going to turn into all of this. I just thought it was just going to be, hey, some great acknowledgement and shout out, dope. I was like, bro, you know how much this means to me, man. Like this, I just buried my mom today, and he was like, nah, man, your mom is up there with God, and God told. She told God to look out for her son, and here I am now. Like that, like this is really like the real correspondence that we had, right?
Yeah.
And ever since, like we were rocking ever since. Like literally, I ended up actually, spending a lot of time with her. After that, like I went back to New York, and then came back to Cali after my semester was done at NYU, and that's when we started talking about me directing the doc and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's all serendipity. Like I couldn't even make none of this stuff up. Like
it's serendipity, also synchronicity, because it's spiritual synchronicity, man. I think when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion about Sean Carter Foundation and spiritual synchronicity with Michael Jordan Payton, and I want to dig into Cookie also, Michael. when we come back, we're going to pick some more grapes on the Grapevine 101.7 The Truth. Let's take this break.
Sir.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Woo! Welcome back. Welcome back. We have Michael Jordan Payton on the line with us. This is the Grapevine. And I'm your host, Manan Sabir, in the Truth 101.7, the studio where all the goodness goes down. Mike.
Let that beat rock. Let that beat rock, man.
Nah, Jay-Z's going to get us a copyright.
No, we good. We good. We good.
Tell Irv, cut the.
I wish I could tell Irv.
Oh, man. How has receiving the recognition to the Shawn Carter Foundation? I know it's a tremendous honor. What did it mean to you personally?
Oh man, it was everything, man. When I was, like I said, when I was going through undergrad and college, I was like, it kind of gave me an extra little, pep in my step. Just knowing that my favorite artist, in my opinion, the greatest artist of our hip hop generation, was putting me through school. So I wore that like a badge of honor. Yeah. And knowing that this is what I wanted to do. I went to school at SF State, San Francisco State University in California.
Shout out to San Francisco State.
Yes, shout out to all my Gators out there.
Yep.
I went there for media production and all that stuff, right? So media communications and broadcasting. So I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in this field because I feel like for us, our culture, we have so much influence. We have so much weight and so much power that I don't think that we quite know.
Right.
But from a young age, I always understood through people like Jay, through people like Pac and Nas and all the greats, right, in our hip hop culture,
right, that
if we have these microphones, if we're able to control the narrative, we can really change not only our communities, not only our families, we can actually change the world. So I wanted to take that, and not just make music and create content, but also, understand the business, understand how this whole thing works and the ins and outs. So there's not a single part of this business that I don't understand. At one point I was working in radio. Shout out to 106 KME out in the Bay.
Yeah.
I ran the radio station on campus. I was doing music video. I mean, every single piece of this business, film, TV, I've done it. And really it's all because of I was allowed to do that because of the great contribution of Jay-Z and Miss Gloria Carter, and others. So it's one thing to have the influence, like the soft influence, if you will, listening to music and get influence and like, oh, I'm inspired by this, but also to be monetarily, pushed by, an artist you admire. It meant the world to me, man.
What do you say to the young person that was in your shoes, that when they go out, they produce something, whatever media piece it is, and they're scared to put it out. What's the turning point? What's the 180 where you're going to tell them, hey, this is what you need to do?
Man, that's a great question. Today, I would say just drop, man. Just drop. Like just put stuff out.
Yeah.
And stay consistent. That's the most important thing. I know a lot of young people, and I suffered from this myself. We're young, we're ambitious. We have the want. We don't necessarily have the know-how. We don't know how it's all going to work out, how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
And I think in our mind we have it set in a certain way. If I'm going to make it, it's going to be this way. It has to look this way, and it's never going to look that way.
Right.
You know, when I was making music, you couldn't have told me that I wouldn't be, that wasn't the way I was going to make it. That wasn't going to be the way that I was going. I just knew I was like, I'm going to know all these guys, the Irvs, the Jays, all the executives, Steve Stouts, and all these people. they're going to all know me through music. Yeah. I had no idea that it was going to be through documentary film, that would be the thing. But the truth is, and now I have relationships with all these people, or have, rest in peace to Irv, but
rest in peace. Yeah.
But for all the other folks I've built tremendous relationships with, had no idea that was going to happen from me doing a YouTube video. So I would say just put it out, and then also, you have to ignore the noise. Most importantly, in your own head. Mm-hmm. It's not about the noise from the outside, because the truth be told, nobody cares, bro. Like at the end of the day, like when you have all the stuff in your head, like, oh, if I put this out, what if people think this? Or what if it's not right? What if it's not perfect?
Right.
It's not going to be perfect. And two, nobody really cares until it does something, right? And nobody, especially in your immediate circle, whether it's your friends, your family, your whoever, your colleagues, unless you got some amazing people, unless you got like how Drake has like 40 and all those folks, or how Jay had Dame and all those folks, unless you got like some solid people, and that's just a handful. For the most part, people don't care until it starts blowing up, until it makes some noise. People don't care. So just drop, find your audience, and don't stop. Like get out of your head that you have to be perfect. Just put it out. That's what I did when I put out this documentary on YouTube.
Yeah,
it was full of so many imperfections. Even I look back at it now, and I cringe. I'm like, oh my God, I could have did this better. Why did I sound like that? Why did I do this? And even Irv told me, and a lot of people told me, yeah, you kind of got that part wrong and this part. But but imagine if I would just sat on it and like just waited.
Or imagine if you would have just put it out, and then you met with Irv, and then you stood on the mistakes that you made, versus saying like, hey, look, I need a coach, and you're my coach. Yeah. Coach me through this.
Exactly. And exactly. You have to be coachable, and you have to be willing to always learn. And once you put something out right into the universe, you have to understand that it's no longer yours.
Yeah.
So get rid of the idea that, right now we're working on a project that we're going to, I wish I could tell you about it, but I'll just have to follow back up with you. But
yeah, later on, we can come back on. We'll do it. Yeah.
But the point is that I'm in love with this project, but I realize that there's a moment where once you put it out, it's no longer ours no more. So whatever criticism, whatever things comes with it, you got to live with it and just be proud of the fact that you did what you like you said, just stand on what you did.
You started a business from this particular, I guess, inflection point in your life. One, you seem like a person who is in tune with manifestation, so you believe in synchronicity, prayer, manifestation. Your mom passes, Irv passes, and then you start reflecting on. And I kind of see this maybe, and maybe I could be wrong about getting this sense that you started to realize in all of this fullness that storytelling is more than a hobby; it's a calling, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I realized that a long time ago. Like I said, when I was a kid, I've been doing this since I was 11, 12 years old, like trying to make music and produce. Like this is why I know, like I said, every part of this business like the back of my hand, because I understood from the time I was a young kid that and we talk about Cookie, my mom. She was a writer. She wrote poetry, and she wrote a book that actually helped her publish before she transitioned.
You got a picture of the book?
I sent it to you. I'll make sure I send it to you. But I definitely have. It's called Ghetto's Peak. It's on Amazon now if y'all want to buy it.
Yes, sir.
By Lorraine Carney. Mm-hmm. That's her real name. So, But no, so from an early age, my mom got me acquainted with and understood the importance of storytelling and words and literature, and that just grew. I started listening to folks like Tupac or whatever, and I got really infatuated with poetry and rhymes and all this, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and that led to storytelling on a not only from a audio or musical standpoint, but also on a visual standpoint. And now we're going beyond visual and you know, storytelling. I mean, I don't know how much y'all seen my work in like policy and working, you know, along with a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, I worked in government. I worked with a lot of politicians to help, you know, get their message right for our community.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's also a bill, a piece of legislation is storytelling.
That's right.
You know, you crafting communication for a community, that's storytelling. You have to let, you know, you have to understand like how to speak to a certain community and get people involved. So it's also part of my mission work too, is how to get our people more engaged, you know, civically, economically, just holistically, man. So it's like my thing is not just storytelling from a media standpoint. It's full scale, right?
Yes.
So it's not on me, it's in me. It's, you know.
So we're gonna take a question from one of the people in the chat. Shaky8 says, what made you make the Murder Inc. doc and at a time where pop culture wasn't too fascinated by the Murder Inc. artists anymore? It's very interesting.
No, that's a great question. No, you know, and that's it, because I feel like the general pop culture, especially when it comes to our culture, when it comes to Black culture, hip hop culture, we tend to forget very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. Like we move on very fast, and I don't think that's not by accident. That's by design, right? Because if you don't know where you're coming from, you can't know where you're going.
Right.
But I grew up, like I said, admiring like these guys, you know, from the Irvs, the Jays, the, you know, I know we can't talk about Puffy no more, but I mean Puff, Russell Simmons, you know, Steve Stout. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But you know, and shout out to Christian and Justin, his kids. Like, I know they've been taking it, you know, they stand strong. But my point is that this was an era where we had Black people from urban areas, right, moving into the corporate space,
right,
moving into a space where we're in your homes 24 hours a day. You got to deal with us. At one point, they thought rap and hip hop was just a fad,
right,
and then it became a real thing. You had guys like Irv, you know, and his brother Chris, who were up there at Murder Inc. and / Def Jam. They were running $400 or $500 million budgets. Ooh. And they were making real executive decisions, you know, in these big corporate companies. So I've always been fascinated by like, how did these guys come from the street? No Harvard education, no formal training, just like pure instinct, and they created billion-dollar companies for our culture, but you know, also for, you know, other folks too, which we'll talk about. But you know, so I've always been fascinated by what drives people that have no, you know, everyone says you got to go to school, get the education, do the thing, you know, move up. They just had sheer, like Jay-Z and Rockefeller. They couldn't get a deal. They couldn't, like, no one would sign them. You know, the greatest MC of all time.
Yeah.
To save their life, could not sign them. So they say, you know what, we're gonna take it in our own hands. We're gonna start our own company. We're gonna do our own thing. They don't want to give us a clothing line deal. Okay, bet, we'll start our own clothing line. Oh, they don't want to give us Chris Style or whatever. Don't like hip hop. We'll start our own liquor companies. Like all that mindset, I think is so it's such a uniquely Black American story, that the entrepreneurial spirit, that, you know, we're gonna just get it no matter what. I think that we cannot forget that, right? So to the question of why I did it is to remind people and to also commemorate this moment in time. I think the late 90s, early 2000s was a very special time in hip hop culture. So I just wanted to commemorate that and remind people, like, yo, none of this stuff you're seeing is new.
Yeah.
This is the origins of it, and hopefully we can get some better understanding of where we're gonna go with it next.
And when we come back, we're gonna talk about some words of advice that Jay-Z gave to him that he still uses today. So this is Michael, Jordan, Peyton on the line with us on the Grapevine. I'm so excited. Let's come back. Let's take this break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna get into this conversation.
Yes, sir.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
The Homer Blow Foundation, Inc., nonprofit 501c3, and our presenting sponsor, Beta Philanthropies, Inc., invites you to the 32nd annual Homer Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 27th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. for kids ages 2 to 13 years old at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club and Metcalf School, located at 3400 West North Avenue on 34th and North. Admission is absolutely free, and after 32 years, you already know how it goes down. And this year, don't miss the kids' phone party. Shout out to our platinum sponsors, the Office of Early Childhood Initiative, Mighty Small Moments, the Brewers Community Foundation, Spectrum, and Westcare, Wisconsin. Our gold sponsors, Maleka Early Learning Center, Liquid, formerly the Oasis, Unite WI, Community Health Primary Care Services, LLC, the Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Eisenberg, Riley, and Zimmerman, and the New Pitts Mortuary. Our silver sponsors, Mr. B's Privilege Lounge and Dog City, along with Running Rebels and Griffin CDL Institute. Limited vendor spaces available. If you'd like to support or make a donation, email homerblowfoundation@gmail.com or call 414-248-4954.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It was just the stigma of rap, inherent racism in America. Hip-hop cops. This doesn't even seem legal. Almost like the people in the suburbs was afraid of rap music.
It felt like it was a moment in time when the law was really trying to come down hard on hip hop and really trying to make a statement. Can you just speak to that? I mean, I know everyone kind of has some legal troubles a little bit. Irv got a big one, but just speak to that moment in the culture.
Yeah, I think it was the time when people were like, wait a minute, these guys are inside the homes of middle America. We were in the homes of middle America, and people still had the stigma of what rap was. Almost like the people in the suburbs was afraid of rap music. It's just like a prejudice that was real at the time. And we didn't help ourselves. We're young and just coming into it, and we're coming from the streets, and we're not only us, we're bringing an entourage. It was just the stigma of rap, inherent racism in America. It just all had this conversion. I remember talking to Preem, put him, with my truck. I think it's a verse in
Man, this is deep. This is deep. Welcome back. Welcome back. We definitely appreciate Michael for sticking on to our station here at Truth Radio 101.7 right here in Milwaukee. I had a question for you, and it's from Benjamin Universe. Benjamin Universe says, what's a piece of advice Jay-Z gave you that you still use to this day? What piece of advice that did Jay-Z give you that you still use to this day?
The advice that Jay-Z gave me did not come directly from him telling me, but like through his actions, right? Through his music. And, you know, really, even the first time we sat down and talked, like I remember how I even told him about the scholarship. I just kept telling him thank you. I'm like, yo, thank you. And he thought I was thanking him for doing the interview. But I was like, no, man, thank you for not only putting me through school, but giving, like, no pun intended, but giving us the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I mean, God, I mean, I can run down a whole gamut of things that Jay has said. You know, I can't help the poor from one of them, so I got rich and gave back. To me, that's the win-win. Like, you know, like that mindset of, you know, no matter what, you have to give back. The mindset that we have a saying at the Sean Carter Foundation in the program, like, we lift as we climb. And that's something that his mother coined, but it's something that we live by, something I can see that he lives by, right? It's like, as he climbs up, he's always bringing the culture with him. Right. And that's something I never forget. You know, it's his life has been the example of how he's transitioned from streets to rapper to executive to now, I don't even know what he is. He's just Hove at this point, right? So I mean, yeah, just his life and his work has been the example. And I mean, you know, it's all of what it's, you know, yeah, I went to college and formally had an education, but really my education started when I first popped in that Blueprint 2 double CD. Yeah. You know, I was like 11, 12 years old at the
double
time.
CD. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah. You know, so like that's what I mean. I always was aware of Jay and listening to him, but like that's when I really started locking in, because he was making that transition from rapper to like, all right, more executive. So like the things that he was saying on that Blueprint 2 made me like, oh, this guy thinks different. And I was, again, like 12 years old, but from that moment on, I was a student of Jay. So I would be hard to tell you, sit there and say like, oh, there's one thing that like it's so many things, bro. But
and then coming out of Oakland. Coming out of Oakland, you know what I'm saying? Oakland isn't, you know, Oakland rivals in terms of, you know, its topography, I guess, not physical topography, but its social topography. It rivals, you know, Milwaukee in a lot of ways. Some industrialization, deindustrialization, you know, you have social and all this other things that are going on. And then we also have a lot of trauma that's similar to what's going on here in Milwaukee. My thought goes based around therapy and it having a seat at the table in your life.
Yeah.
Tell me more about therapy and what role it plays in your life right now.
Well, right now my therapy is this microphone right here, and the work that I've been doing. But no, my mom, when I was a child, you know, I was one of those kids. I think a lot of kids, especially young Black boys, we're told that we're too, you know, I wasn't like a hyper kid, but I was a kid that I got into a lot of fights in school, and I was really, you know, according to the teachers, I was smart. I don't know if I really was, but you know, I was smart according to what the adults said, but I was like always fighting. Like, why is he always fighting so much? Why is he always getting into trouble in the principal's office and all this? So my mom, like from an early age, she was like, I want to see what's up with this kid. And, so she had me, you know, in therapy from the time I was a young man to, you know, my early adult years. I you know, and it really was helpful to help me kind of flush out like why I was feeling a certain way. And I think it gave me, you know, it gave me the tools. It gave me a lot of tools and the language that I still use to this day. Now, I'll be transparent, I'm not actively in therapy right now, but like I said, my art, my work, I see it as a therapeutic thing. I've actually gotten back into making music, and I've been writing a lot more, and that's been therapeutic for me. But again, what therapy did for me from early on was gave me the language and the tools to know how to work through certain things. Even you know, losing my mom, I'm an only child, right? So my mom was my everything. Any young Black boy, y'all know, we all mama's boys in our own way, right? Yeah. For those of us who, you know, got relationships with our moms, like, so to lose her, someone who I was doing everything for, and because of, that was a hard thing. But I was actually surprised. When I look back at it, and who knows, you know, they say grief happens in stages. So maybe I'm in some weird, you know, 7-year stage where I'm like, but I think I took it relatively well, all things considered. And I think that's because I had the ability and the skills to like compartmentalize, understand things aren't your fault. Things happen. So therapy definitely has played a big role. Again, even though I'm not actively in it right now, I need to. Shout out to BetterHelp.com. I was actually on there last week looking at like, so, but I don't know if
they got that discount code. Sign me up.
You know, that's what I'm looking for. I start seeing the rates. I'm like, back to rap, but no. But no. But I do think that therapy is so important. I wish that more men, especially young men today.
Yeah.
And man, I know we'll probably talk about it, but man, like today, men are going through and I know it's like not the culture thing to say, like, oh, men, but like, no, men, especially young boys, are going through a straight up identity crisis, man. We can see it online. We can see it with the way that young boys and young men are gravitating to certain kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was, and it's not new. Let's be very, very clear. I know because social media, it's not new. When I was coming up, one of the reasons why I was, attracted to hip hop and this thing was because of the bravado and the money and all that. Because we came from poverty, so I didn't.
And then being a only child. You're kind of searching for. I remember even my brother,
a father figure.
Yeah, a father figure. I remember I grew up with my dad, but having a brother that was killed early when I was 16. My search for people to help bridge that gap between my dad and myself. I went. I started gravitating towards whoever. Man, it was people who were my brother's best friends to people who I just knew as that were older but could relate to me but weren't. They were kind of like father figures in a sense, but they were also brothers. It was just like this whole cacophony of individuals. But in reality, I was just searching for someone just to relate to me.
100%, and I relate to that in the sense that I was, again, we grew up in poverty. You're kind of like, you're watching your mom, this beautiful person that's amazing person, intelligent, smart, beautiful, all these things, strong Black woman, but she's struggling herself mentally because of just the weight of being the mother of a single mother of a young Black man in this society, right? And all the weight at the time. And shout out to my dad. My dad, I have a great relationship with my dad now, but my dad at the time, he was going through his own struggles and wasn't available right at that time. So my mom had to carry a lot of the weight. So again, I'm like, how do I get her out there? Oh, most of the problems is just money. Oh, this bill is due, that bill, food, whatever. It's just money. Right. I'm looking on BET and MTV or whatever was on at that time, listening to the radio, and I'm like, oh, so if Lil Wayne is 14 and he's rapping, he's making I'm millions of dollars or whatever, he can. All I gotta do is rap and do this and do these things that I can get my mom out of her situation. So that was my kind of mindset, even stepping into the whole thing, not only from a creative side, but just like from a practical side. At a young age, I'm like, I want to use this to get my mom in a better situation, to get us in a better situation. So I say that to bring it back home to like where I think a lot of young boys today, it comes back down to like, what is your worth? What is your value? What can you contribute for a lot of young men? And we're losing jobs to whether it's AI overseas or, the DEI, whatever thing, name it. And we see a lot of young men, especially young Black men, feeling like, well, what value do I bring, right? What value a woman only wants me if I got a bag, if I can buy her a bag, if I can, all these things that pop culture is telling us. So we started gravitating to these very toxic ideas of masculinity. I actually wrote my master's thesis at NYU about this, about what is toxic masculinity, right? And what does that even mean?
And that's what I want to get. I want to get into mental health and hustle, and your legacy and purpose. So when we come back, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Michael Jordan Payton, and we're going to talk about masculinity, his legacy and purpose, and also the hustle. What does the hustle mean? When we come back, we're going to take these break. Let's go.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Yes, we're back on the Grapevine with Michael, Jordan, Peyton, and we're going to discuss a few things. I got a few questions, but before we go and move forward on those questions, Michael, I got to remind people to hit us up on the YouTube chat live, the Grapevine, Truth Radio 101.7 FM, or you can give us a call or text us 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Mike, let me ask you a question.
Oh, man.
You ready?
I'm ready.
What does it feel like to be a black man navigating predominantly in white spaces, especially in your industry? We look at the film industry, we look at the storytelling spaces that are dominated, especially in LA, Hollywood area, and they still have white dollars attached to them. Like Jay, it was, I'm pretty sure it's hard to break into those industries. You're still constantly and continuing the fight to do so. But what does it feel like to be in those spaces and constantly, pushing your narrative?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting question, man. A great question. I tell you, for me, I kind of got thrust into a really interesting position, right? Because in this business, usually you start off and technically I did, right, at the very bottom, but and when it comes to TV and film, I got thrust into this position because of Irv, right? Irv put his full trust in me, said, you're going to direct and produce the Murder Inc. story. Director is a very senior level on the production side of it.
Right.
So I'm in the rooms, where I'm in these rooms with, some of these folks at Paramount. I'm in these rooms with folks from, HBO, Netflix. I mean, I've talked to all these executives, and again, it's a privilege in the sense that a lot of folks who look like me, I kind of got just put into this spot. But I also realize that a lot of people have to work their way up and have to do all this constant negotiating and all this to make it there. And I'm blessed in the sense that I'm in that space. I've been able to be in these spaces.
Yeah.
And at the same time, but I'm also mature enough and also kind of have that blueprint that was laid out for me that I realize that, yeah, it's important to have the Netflix and all these big majors and stuff, but at the same time, you got to put your dollars back into your own business, put your dollars back into our own production. So, the last couple of years, I've been doing a lot of just doing my own projects, not waiting for the industry, not waiting for those dollars to come in, because a lot of times, man, they don't understand us. They just don't. And it's crazy that at this big age that we are, in this industry, that we still have to fight for a seat at the table. Like that idea of fighting for a seat at the table, like I hate that expression. Like, I don't want a seat at your table.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna bring my own table. I'm gonna wipe it off myself, and this is where I'm gonna sit.
Exactly. I don't need your permission. I don't need. Like, I feel like we as a people, and especially in this town, man, we're conditioned that, like, if it's like, for example, like this weekend we have the BET Awards coming up, and shout out to BET Awards and the legacy they've built there. Yep. But I feel like we don't put as much emphasis on that. It's almost like, yeah, we'll do it because it's kind of the thing to do, but like the Grammys is where we want to be, the Oscars is where we want to be. It's like, no, let's put the emphasis on the NAACP Awards. Let's put the emphasis on our things, or your local stuff, right? Like let's build that up instead of always having to look for some sign off from some mainstream or white company to give us the thumbs up. Like I'm totally like in this space where I'm done. I'm tired of going into these meetings and like pitching and having to like convince them this is why, look at these metrics, and this is why. It's like, bro, we know our culture moves and sells everything, so let's just go directly to the consumer. Let's go directly to our people, directly to our audience. And at the same, I want to say this too, let's also not be limited by that. Just because you are a Black, insert whatever, filmmaker, creator, artist, whatever the case may be, we don't have to just be, our work, our perspective is universal. So don't be afraid to go outside the box and do it. You don't have to do the next Tyler Perry movie or the next whatever, that thing is. Do whatever, shout out to my guy, Boots Riley, who is
shout out to Boots,
also from Oakland.
Yep.
Who's doing this great work with this kind of Afro futuristic, work that he's doing in his film. So like, let's not be afraid to, and making the mainstream come to us instead of us chasing that, you know? So that's the perspective I bring in this seat that I'm in right now.
You come from great stock out in Oakland. What makes Oakland so special as it relates to, the things that are going on in this world? Oakland has definitely contributed to a lot of things, a lot.
Oakland is, like I said at the top, it's a revolutionary spirit, that independent spirit is palpable, it's paramount there. It's a lot of folks that come out from the town become, if you're able to kind of get past the minutia, if you will, of like navigating the industry and break it, you can be ultra successful. I mean, look at Ryan Coogler. I just talked about Boots Riley. Shout out to the queen of comedy, Linnell. Shout out to Too Short. Shout out to all, and even folks from not Oakland but the Bay Area, E40, and all these folks that come from the Bay. Because we have that independent mindset, because no one was ever coming to us. Because no one was ever. I'm sorry, we never went to anybody yet. We always made the world come to us. And so. Oh,
that's true.
And so once we get on that massive platform, it's like, no, we bring in that flavor, we bring in that our swag, we bring in all that, and we're being unapologetic about it. We're not going to try to cow down because, now I'm here in this space. Even here in LA, I bring my Oakland mentality and vibes here. And I will say this too, that I think, and it's not just probably not Oakland. I think anybody from any town, city, whatever. I think we tend to be so independent that sometimes it can be our detriment too. It's like, no, don't be afraid to take that next step and step outside of your comfort zone, because if it was, again, I love Oakland. I'm born and raised in the Bay, but if it wasn't for me kind of going to New York, coming to LA, I wouldn't have had the opportunity. It took somebody from New York to recognize my talent on a massive scale, and that's what got me, talking to y'all today. So let's not be afraid to expand and be universal with the mindset that we have. Man, we can go far. Let me look at, like I said, Ryan Coogler, just a great example from film space. But it's so many others I can name.
Hey man, you guys had the Black Panthers out there. It was just, I mean, you can go down the list. It was, the stock in Oakland. When you land in Oakland, one thing about it, when you land in Oakland, you fly into San Francisco, wherever you flying to, you go to Oakland, man, and you can feel it. You can really, really feel it. And I wanna shout out Oakland, because I've been out there. I got a cousin out there, and she showed me around, and I was like, yeah, I fell right in love with it. I went to this vegan soul food place. It was fantastic, man. I don't know where it was.
Vegan Mob?
No, it was another one. It was a young lady. It was a lady that runs it, and her son. She looked young, but she had an older son.
Okay.
But black don't crack. But I think it was called vegan soul, vegan something like that. But it was.
I wonder if it's the one by the lake, because I know it's a spot.
I think so. It was by some water.
Yeah, that's probably it. Oh man, I might got the name wrong, but yeah, that's they got like vegan soul food.
Yes,
man,
yes.
You can't even tell the difference.
No,
I was eating like, wait, is this? Are you sure this ain't like meat, dog? Like, what's going on?
Hey,
like,
look, it's funny because my last topic was just on the black church and soul food, and my thinking was on this particular place when I was talking to black church and soul food, and so I'm so interested in that topic, but we could talk about that from later on. I have a few more questions. My first question is, would you allow us to borrow a little bit more of your time once we get past this 3:00 Central Time hour to give you the proper outro?
Yeah, I'm all yours. I'm as much time as you need.
Fantastic. So, Michael, we're going to take a break, and once we come back, I got a few more questions about your scholarship with the Sean Carter and Dr. Gloria Carter Foundation. And then we're going to get you into our rapid fire questions and see what your knowledge of hip hop is.
Oh man. All right.
All right, y'all.
Let me brush up real quick.
Yes, yeah. Brush up. Britt, make sure you read some books. Do your dissertation real quick. When we come back, we got Michael Jordan Payton on the Grapevine, the Truth Radio 101.7. Let's take this break.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about 4 walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Truth Nation, stand up. Tap in. Share your truth with the 1017 crew on 1017 FM and 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee, a Milwaukee Black media company.
Yes. Welcome back to the third hour of the Grapevine. We're going to pick some more grapes with Michael Jordan Payton. If you got any questions for Michael Jordan Payton, any comments and or concerns about his journey, let us know on our YouTube channel, Truth Radio 101.7. And also, make sure you comment Grapevine if you don't have any questions, comments, or concern. And you can text us and or call in 833-212-1017. He said we're all his. So, hey, let's just keep on going. I'm gonna read a lyric or two because I was just on it. I'm like, all right, I know he gonna know this one. But what do you think about this, especially in terms of the hustle? Because you went from Oakland to New York. And one thing about going from Oakland to New York, completely different worlds. You know, Oakland has a laid back hustle. You know, you got the sunshine, palm trees every night. You know, you got the lake, you got the downtown. You next to San Fran. You know, the Castro area maybe. But y'all don't know about Castro.
Y'all
don't know about Castro. Shout out to Castro, man. Come up, y'all got to come up. But Oakland to New York, and I don't know what part of New York you lived in. What part?
I was right in the middle. I was in Manhattan, man, on 14th Street, like in the middle of like chaos, like over by Union Station.
Yeah, so where everything
anybody
meets.
knows the area.
Everything meets there. Yeah. So Jay says in his lyric, I bought every V12 engine. I wish I could take it back to the beginning. I could have bought a place in Dumbo before it was Dumbo. That's down under the Manhattan Bridge. Am I right? Yeah, Dumbo. And then says for like $2 million, that same building today is worth $25 million. Guess how I'm feeling? Dumbo. Dumbo. when you hear that lyric, it takes you back to, you know, for me, it takes me back to the hustle that I had to kind of tap into when I was developing one of my other businesses called the Juice Kitchen here in Milwaukee. And I used to also, like you, listen to Jay when I was, you know, juicing and trying to hustle the brand. But when you hear that lyric and you say, man, this is how I can take my label, my company, C-Suite Music, and turn it into something. What is there a parallel between that particular, you know, piece of that phrase and what you're doing now?
Yeah, no. And so this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Someone asked about like the greatest piece of advice Jay gave me, right? And again, it wasn't directly, but that's a great example, right? So like, you know, the conversation around like, okay, what does investing mean, right? What does that mean to like what is luxury? And as young men and folks from the hood, we want to go buy chains and cars and all that flashy stuff. It's like, well, you took that same money and invested into, some apartment buildings. Like $2 million is nothing for especially back then. Then they were spending out on chains and crystal and all that stuff. Imagine if they would have put that money, we could own Manhattan, we could own Oakland and parts of LA and parts of Milwaukee. We can own this stuff. We just made these investments in our community, and we thought different and strategic, and instead thinking short term, thinking the long term. So that's one of the things that kind of got my gears. Again, something you always inherently know, but to hear someone at his level be like, damn, I kind of, I missed the mark on that, right? It just brings you back to the conversation. Like, okay, how do we make sure we don't miss the mark next time? Mm-hmm. Because economic empowerment is not just about looking rich. It's about actually being rich. It's about actually building wealth and building communities, building up strong zip codes so that we are, we're protected against certain things, and as far as like budgets and how the city spends their money, that's all important. And if we don't own these blocks and own these neighborhoods and own the means of, just
they're just words on the lyrics. They're just words on the album.
But think about the fact how much culture Brooklyn, right? For example, like where Jay's from has created, right? But think about the fact that people in Brooklyn how many people in Brooklyn actually own where they live, right? Or so like we contribute so much to this culture in America, but how much of it do we actually really own? So I think that's what makes me think when I hear that lyric.
That's very interesting because I remember him saying that he was from 560 State Street. That's downtown next to downtown Brooklyn. Everybody next to the Apple store is basically across the street, and I think the mall is in the area too.
It's totally gentrified now.
Totally gentrified. You got Bill Fufu Shishi with dogs being walked down the street. No pits in Brooklyn right now. Pits. No, not that part of Brooklyn. Right?
No,
maybe Jackson.
No. Brooklyn still get busy. Don't get it. But there's certain parts are like, wait a minute, this Brooklyn. This feel like Manhattan, or feel like Times Square.
Yes. So when you talk about investing and you talk about your company, C-Suite Music, what is C-Suite Music about?
So C-Suite Music, C-Suite Music is the parent company. We just launched a new company called Bit 90, which stands for Black in the 90s, born in the 90s, however you want to phrase it. But C-Suite Music is kind of the ethos, right? I think a lot of people hear that name and they used to think, oh, you're a record label. And I'm like, no, we didn't. It's funny now we're doing music again, but at the time it was like, no, but music is such an integral part of our culture, right? And so the idea was C-suite, executive level, high level, whatever, and music. Like we're bringing our culture to the highest level. We want to show it in the highest light. We want to take this thing as far as we can take it. Forget about just, making some other brand pop. Forget about, we've dominated spirits, we've dominated fashion, we've dominated music. Obviously, we've dominated all these things. But have we dominated in the political space? Have we dominated in the venture capital space?
Right.
Have we dominated in the health space? Right. The most important part. So it's like the idea, and maybe that gets lost, but that was the ethos behind of when I named it C-Suite Music. It's like, how do we take this thing, our oil, right? Music is kind of like our oil, or our 7-Eleven, if you will, whatever you want, whatever.
It's how we attract
have, right? It's how we, sports and entertainment is a big part of how a lot of us make it out. So how do we take that natural resource and scale it, at the highest level? So that was the idea behind the name C-Suite. And so we're a production company and media company and all these things, but more importantly, it's a brand that kind of hopefully encompasses those things I just talked about.
Well, that's amazing. I think you embody what the Sean Carter Foundation and Gloria Carter Foundation has been hoping to stress to society, is that you take this opportunity and you multiply it tenfold. You multiplied it to the degree that you not only have you developed a documentary. That's easy, right? But then you're talking about developing a company, an actual company that lends itself to building other people in C-suite music. Gloria Carter, I know, went back to school and got her doctorate degree. And now I know she's retired and everything, but now she's continuing to work. From what I've seen on Instagram, that she did some food drives and the likes. When we're talking about like this executive place of hustle, right? When we're talking about this executive place of hustle, what's the bridge between the hustle on the street? You're hustling the documentary, whatever, and the kind of the higher tier hustle where you have to engage yourself with multiple individuals who have large budgets.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't. My experience is teaching me because I'm still learning.
Yeah.
It's not really a difference. It's really about what you bring to the table, in my opinion, right? Because I think in a era before, I think there was like a clear difference, right? Like, okay, streets, and then there's the hustle here, and there's the hustle on but because of the internet, because of social media, it's broken down so many barriers and walls that it's like, why do I need to listen to you? Oh, because you got what degree? Oh, because you got, like, okay, you got what budget? Okay, but you might have the budget, but I got the people.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got the culture. So like, you need me just as much as I need you, if not more than I need you. So I think it's a different, I operate from a different space now. I have a master's degree, bachelor's degree. I got a certificate from Harvard. I got a certificate in applied policy from Sacramento State in government. Like I'm a very educated brother, but at the same time, I don't. My most important education comes from the street, and not that I was like in the street like on some hood stuff, but I mean just like learning like just the street smarts and understanding like how people operate at the most basic primary level. And if that is more valuable than knowing like some corporate jargon, you know what I mean? Like knowing how to write an email perfectly. Like I've learned that if you know how to connect with people are the most important commodity. I don't care how much we try to replace people with AI or we try to automate and do all this other stuff. Like understand how people function and understand and to be able to communicate with people is the most important thing. And that's what a lot of these corporations and people who work in that space, they don't know that, bro. Like they're really bad at communication when it comes to like the everyday working person, that single dad, that, you know what I mean, that single mom that's going through it. They don't know how to talk to them, and that's what we do. It we know our people, but not only our people, we know working people. We know how to talk to, whether they black, white, Hispanic, whatever the case. We know how to talk to all people because we come from a real place. So I realized that that's more valuable than even having the skill. That's more valuable than even having the knowledge or knowing all the right words and verbiage to use. To me, that's what's missing right now in that corporate space, if we call it. That's the flavor that we bring and the value that we bring, is that we can do both.
Yeah, it's interesting because they cut the funding, a lot of funding to DI, or renamed a lot of departments and stuff like that. But in reality, we're still in these spaces and we still can make our own way. We still can build our own table. Yeah. When we come back, we're going to come back with Michael Jordan Payton. We're going to discuss purpose, discipline, and also the rapid fire questions. We're not going to hold him too long, but I'm glad he extended his period of time out there in Oakland. So let's come back. Let's come back, and we're going to get to these questions. Yes.
The African American Roundtable, black-led organization on Milwaukee's far northwest side, has launched a safety campaign rooted in the basic need of food access. It's called Feed the Change MKE. Through community engagement, AART learned that easy access to and education about locally sourced and fresh food would help people feel healthier and safer. Also, local food providers need to learn how to engage the community, build awareness, and stay in our community long-term. So Feed the Change MKE encourages people to know, grow, prepare, and share food, especially from community-owned and operated stores, gardens, markets, and other culturally relevant sources. We can't rely on big corporations to meet these needs. That's why we must demand the city to invest $1 million into the Healthy Food Establishment Fund, formerly called the Fresh Food Access Fund. Join AART's campaign to win a dignified and choiceful system that we all can thrive in. Visit aartmke.org to learn more about Feed the Change MKE.
Yo, we are back in the Grapevine. We're going to pick some more grapes with Brother Michael Jordan Payton. Michael, what does discipline look like on the days when you don't feel inspired?
Man, discipline looks like I'm a person, I have to write everything down, man. Like, especially on days when I just don't feel like doing jack-ish. I'll be like, I have to write it all. I mean, I'm talking about everything from, all right, put one foot out the bed, put the other foot on the floor. Like I'll get methodically scientific with it. Like because there's days where you just don't feel like doing nothing. You're just depleted. You're emotionally drained. You're burnt out. And I have to on those days. And there's some days like right now I'm in a zone where I'm jumping to get up. Like I said, I'm in the middle of this project I'm really, really excited about. Yeah. And it's just like butter. Every day it's just like, I can't wait. It's not enough time in the day. Yeah. And then there's days when you're just going through it and it's another meeting, it's another conference call. It's just like, let me just, at this time, eat something, drink water. Like, I'm literally breaking every single step of my day down to get me through. And you realize that after you get through about 10 of those steps, you start feeling good about yourself. You're like, okay, I'm actually doing this. I'm accomplishing. Even though I don't want to do it, I'm accomplishing something. And that's discipline. Even when you don't feel like doing it, you still force yourself to do it anyway. And because you have to think about not just the short-term payoff of like, all right, if I don't do it, I feel good by just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. How will I feel tomorrow? I'm gonna feel great tomorrow knowing that I didn't want to do this, but I did it. I got it done today, and I can chill tomorrow. It's just little things like that you gotta trick your mind. You gotta hack your mind into being disciplined.
What's a dream in terms of hacking your mind? You dreamt a lot and you've done a lot. I guess I have two-part question is you've met, the people that you wanted to meet. You met a person that you wanted to meet. Are you and Jay still close as I guess as the interview kind of portrays, or you guys are passing professionals?
Oh man, I'll say I have a great relationship with his team, like his mom, his team. Jay is doing his thing, right? So
yeah, of course, you got to stay busy.
But I seen him at Earth's funeral.
Yeah,
he was there. We were sitting like right behind each other, and spoke in passing. And I seen, I see, it's always love. But again, it's like that man is so busy that I never want to be that one that's like the one that's always like on him or asking for stuff.
Of course not.
But yeah. I built a great relationship with his team, with his mom. Shout out to Dr. Gloria Carter.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I think on a daily basis we have some kind of interaction. Like literally just got off a text message with somebody from his office just now. So like so I know that whenever there's something I need or whatever, I know I can always, reach out and likewise, like, it's a great relationship, I'll say overall for sure.
I know you dream a lot, and I'm pretty sure your dreams are pretty vivid. And this is just I get from your spirit. What's one dream that you haven't shared publicly yet that you can share? And I don't believe in like sharing all the dreams, but maybe it's a touch of something that will give somebody some inspiration. I know we have a lot of young people listening, and I want to know.
No, that's a great question, man. I have a lot of dreams, man. I have a lot of big dreams. Some of them I won't discuss yet. I might come back later on and discuss some of them, but I'll definitely
after the next project. After the next project, it seems big.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm coming on next week, man. Talk about this project. So y'all better make a slot for me, man. But
hey, you know what? Let's do that.
Let's do it.
For real. I'm booking.
I'm calling out on the air because I need it.
All right.
I'm calling out on the air because I just need 10 minutes. That's all, y'all. But I have some really big dreams. And you said what was one of the dreams that I had?
You haven't shared publicly yet. Yeah.
Man. I want to. One of my dreams is to build something that, and I think people don't understand. Like I do a lot of work in a lot of different verticals, right? And it's like, well, how does all this make sense, right?
Right.
And for me, it's about building something that is, and I'll say, going back to the model that Jay has laid, right? Like the blueprint. When I look at Rock Nation and what they've built, it's not just an entertainment company. It's a company that, it's a brand, but their ethos is, they are impacting everything from obviously like the entertainment space, and we know about what they do with the NFL and all that. But no one talks enough about what they do in terms of when it's time to take legal action, right? If something goes on in Milwaukee or in Kentucky or somewhere that people might not be thinking about, they're sending lawyers, they're sending legal help to come out and help like our communities fight these things. And I'm like, that, and people don't talk about that, but that's kind of what I want to build in terms of what I'm trying to do with C-Suite Music and my brand and my company, is that not just obviously the legal space, but how can we impact housing? How can we impact the health space? How can we impact civic engagement and getting people out to like, that is kind of my big dream, is like using this platform to make, we'll just say, because it's an election year, right? To make voting just as hot as going to the club or going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag. Or it's like, how do we make people understand, like, buying a home or owning a business or whatever is that's the new Balenciaga.
Yes.
That's the new Mercedes. Like that's kind of my bigger goal with this. It's never just to like, let me get some money, I'm gonna get mine, I'm gonna move to the suburbs when I get it. But I'm gonna bring my people with me, and we're gonna all live this life. We're all gonna live this, this thing,
That's the new hustle. The new hustle, the real hustle. The new hustle isn't necessarily a new hustle. It's the old hustle by everybody else, but we're just rediscovering it, and it's repackaged in many different formats. Am I right?
Facts.
100%. What policy would you change right now? If you could go across the board, you're
Wait, let me pull out my phone. Hold on, let me scroll. I'll say this, man. And I'm not a politician, so I don't have I don't know. It's not workshopped or anything like that.
Yep.
Yet. So, any consultants out there want to join I'm just kidding. No, but I would say
taking donations.
I would say taking donations. Yeah. I would, and again, it's not sexy, but I think it is sexy if you felt. I would cut taxes, right, for anybody that is not making a certain amount of money. I don't know what the median income is there in Milwaukee. Right. But I know here in California, like they're like, if you don't make like $150,000, you're considered poor. I'm like, wait, whoa, what? But but the thing is that we get hit. Working people get hit so much, man, with we're taxed. Especially again, I don't know what it's like in Milwaukee, but in California and other places, like we're taxed so much, from the sodas that you buy, drinks that you buy, to your car, to the gas, everything. It's like people need a break. I think if we can bail, and again, I'm not trying to get all political and stuff, but it's just true. If we can bail out banks and companies and all this other stuff, bail out the working people who actually make this stuff go.
Right.
So if I could just change one thing right now, like for a year, I would like nobody pays if you are not making whatever the threshold, right, that makes you just right at the middle class, like working and middle class people would pay no taxes for a year. Let's tax people who make a little more money, and let's give people a break. Like
Right.
y'all remember how great it felt during the pandemic where things kind of had stopped for a minute, like where we wasn't paying no bit. Like the people need that, because people, I know they say the economy is coming back and this and that, but like people ain't really feeling it. People
Right.
ain't really feeling that, and I think that our people, working people across the board, need a break. And I think we tired of hearing about trillionaires and people, all this other stuff. Great, like and again, shout out to people who I know who are billionaires and all that,
Yeah.
who are actually doing the work and giving back. But like, let's create more opportunity for more people to get there. Because guess what? If you give that single dad a tax break, guess what he gonna do? He gonna start a business. He gonna go pay for childcare. He gonna go fix his car, go invest in a truck and go start a company. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
there's
this
an
is the
article
things that we can do.
There was an article that said there was an article about just came out about the dad brain, and how the dad brain, once a gentleman has a child, the dad brain turns on, and we all can pretty much guess what the dad brain is. Like, hustle, get work done, go to work, come back home, eat, sleep, do it again, right? And you're right. Once you give that dad or that mom, that tax break, and they have that little extra mental real estate and the financial real estate to operate, they're not going to spend it. More than likely, they're not going to spend it on some frivolous things, because they're looking at children's mouths.
Exactly, 100%. And they're gonna invest. And guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna invest that money back into the local economy. Either way it goes, everybody wins. Like, so the local stores are gonna win because they're gonna be spending a little more money. They might save that money up and employ a couple of they folks, and now somebody else got a job. Like, it's a win-win. Why wouldn't you want to bail out the very people who built this damn country? Excuse my language, but like that's one thing. If I had the magic pen, I would, and Congress and all the other stuff, all the other branches of government. But that's one thing I would definitely say. Give the working people a break, man.
Real quick, after you finished the Murder Inc. documentary, did you the official after you finished the official Murder Inc. documentary, the breath you took, was it a breath of relief? Was it a breath of was it kind of like bittersweet, because a lot of our black and brown owned companies have, succumbed to the ending, like, Murder Inc. in terms of, how it went down. Like, what was on your foremind?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Honestly, if we keeping it real, brother, I don't know if I've taken that breath yet. And this is something I've been working through. Like I said, as I'm kind of on my own journey, mental health wise and all that, it's like, it's okay to pause, right? Because I think after doing that, it was, I know I told the story like it just kind of happened, right? It was a lot that happened along with that. Me and Irv first started talking in 2019, and it was a whole lot of stuff that happened in between there. A pandemic, all kind of stuff happened in between there, I'll say that. And then the doc actually came out like 2022, 23 or something like that. And so there was a lot that went into making it.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, there was a sense of like, wow, great. But I've never really had that. We talked earlier about like kind of the working in this business.
Yeah.
And the different folks we got to deal with. And it's always like, it's to quote Janet Jackson. I don't know if I old enough to remember. What have you done for me lately? That's the kind of business it is. It's like, yeah, I did this great thing with Jay-Z, Nas, Irv Gotti, and Ja Rule and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but like, what about? It's like, it's never enough, right? And that's something I've been trying to deal with. And I've just recently kind of sat down and watched it, the whole thing back, and like, man, you know what? And I even watched it from the perspective of, oh, that's dope, I did that. It's like, no. Put yourself back in the shoes of that 12-year-old kid, that 13-year-old kid who was calling Jay-Z's office, Rockefeller, like on the 411 number, trying to talk to Jay, trying to get your songs heard, who was like sending in demos to Murder Inc. when I was 14 years old, trying to get my songs heard, to now I got this piece of cultural history. Like 100 years from now, when people want to learn about whatever happened, in this era, they can always go back, just like if you are a historian, you study in a book, right? You go back and read the book. Oh, what happened? Oh, okay, Christopher Columbus. whoever did this. You want to study the era of hip hop that the 90s, the 2000s, and these very important folks who one of those documents may be this documentary that I made, and I'm proud of that. Like, again, just putting myself in that 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid's shoes. Like, man, you did that, and be proud of that, and don't care about what the next move is or whatever. Which we've had some great next moves and got some great projects coming, but I think there's always this let's go. We got to keep proving and proving in this business. But yeah, so the breath that I took, I think I'm just now starting to take that breath and appreciate it some 3 or 4 years later after the release. But
that's deep.
That's what it is.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, when we come back, we're gonna ask Michael Jordan Payton our rapid fire questions. Hopefully we gave you enough time to brush up on your hip hop, because we're gonna ask you some real questions. Y'all,
all good.
We're gonna take this break. Let's go.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Barack Obama's long-awaited presidential center in Chicago is open.
President Obama is the first digital president. We have the ability to digitize all of his presidential records, which we are paying for, and the National Archives is doing that.
That's Valerie Jarrett. She's CEO of the Obama Foundation and former senior advisor to President Obama while he was in office. The center is an update on the tradition of former presidents opening a library, in that it isn't a library. In fact, it'll have very few physical archives.
Why would we take up space on our campus in the middle of this incredible city with paper when it could be digitized?
Instead, the center will house video and interactive displays, a basketball court, community gardens, walking trails, and even a branch of the Chicago Public Library.
All blending into the urban fabric, and it's the first presidential center that's located in an urban area.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Yes, we're back. We're going to pick some more grapes with Michael Jordan Payton. Thank you for staying on with us. We're going to ask you some rapid fire fun culture questions real quick, because we're going to let you out of this beautiful, beautiful interview, and hopefully we can have you back.
Oh yeah, I'll be back next week.
Yes, sir. We want to know about that project. So give us a favorite Ja Rule song. Don't think, just answer.
Damn, they something I have to think. Dial M for Murder.
Ashanti, underrated, properly rated, or legendary?
Oh man, I mean both underrated and legendary. Like she, legendary.
What's on your playlist right now that no one would expect?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Who?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, see, look, you gotta catch up, Manon.
Who is that? What? Who is that?
Me Espresso. That Me Espresso.
The house tour.
You heard this?
Yeah.
Oh,
house.
man.
That's on my house tour. That's definitely on my summer playlist.
Go to the third floor.
Shout out to Sabrina.
Hey, bro. hey, the third, the fourth, the attic.
What?
She ain't slick.
Hey, y'all, I'm lost. Somebody help me out in the chat. Call in something. Get Sabrina on the phone. I don't know what's going on.
Please, yeah. Hey, y'all got an extra hour? I can wait for that.
We all got an extra hour. Sabrina is on the phone, right? That's funny. Okay, what movie or documentary changed your life as a storyteller?
Woo! Defiant Ones.
Say it again.
Defiant Ones.
If
That's
you're
the Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine documentary. Yep.
Oh wow. Okay. If your come up story was a film, who plays you?
Al Pacino. 100%. 100%. I'm Michael. I'm Michael in Godfather.
Okay. All right. Favorite actress?
Oof. Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiana Taylor.
Okay. Yep. She was good. She was cold in that last film, the film with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Cold.
Yeah. Favorite movie of all time?
Godfather.
Okay. Mine is the 5 Heartbeats. Favorite.
Okay. Shout out to the 5 Heartbeats.
Shout out to Robert Townsend.
Yeah. Love that movie.
Favorite black filmmaker?
John Singleton.
Right on. He's from Oakland. Am I wrong?
No, he's from LA. LA.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning or night?
Depends on what we doing.
Okay.
I'll say night. That's when the most creativity comes out.
Yes. Book or podcast?
These days, podcast.
Which one?
I love my book. Man, shout out to Atlanta, man. I've been listening to a lot of Big Facts Network.
Okay.
With Bank and a lot of, it's over on Revolt.
Yeah.
It's just listen to them OGs, man. It's just like get so much game. Also listen to a lot of political podcasts. So I'm on I love Hacks on Tap with David Axelrod and Mike Murphy. Like I'm a political junkie if y'all ain't figured that out by now. But yeah, that's like my weird hobby.
I'm gonna get you in trouble. Jay-Z or DMX?
Jay-Z.
Okay. Nas.
And I mean, I love X though. Love X. Recipes that. Go ahead.
Nas or 50 Cent?
Come on, man. Nas.
Okay. Right? Lil Wayne or T.I.?
Ooh. Come on, man. Tunchi. I'm gonna go with Tunchi.
Okay, Tunchi. Shout out to Tunchi and my Nola family.
Yeah.
Paid in Full or New Jack City?
Dang, man. Who wrote these questions, man? Y'all got brother stumped.
Calm down, man. Don't start asking them questions now. You gotta answer.
Dang, now I'm thinking too. No, I can't think. New Jack City. Ooh, nah. Paid in Full.
Best
final answer.
Best hip hop movie ever that you ever seen?
Paid in Full.
Okay. All right.
Paid in Full.
Okay. Last couple of questions. Greatest producer of all time?
Dr. Dre. Period.
Best hip hop duo.
Outkast.
Your favorite DJ.
Ooh.
No, wait. There's a caveat to this. The engineer.
Okay.
Is also a DJ that you just laughed with. So if you don't say his name, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh. I was about to say, I want to say this too. This ain't a question or answer, but shout out to Murder Inc.'s engineer, Milwaukee Buck. Is from there too. It's from Milwaukee. So we interviewed him in the doc. He engineered a lot of the hits that y'all all know and love. So
he's from Milwaukee.
Yeah, Buck 3000, Milwaukee Buck.
Buck 3000.
That's the. Yeah, he produced. He engineered a lot of the records that y'all would know, like Caught Up with Ja Rule and Lloyd, a bunch of Murder Inc. joints that was like hits. So he, shout out to Milwaukee Buck. I bet y'all didn't know that little piece of Milwaukee history, did you?
No, I didn't know it, but some people in the booth they saying they know him. Yep.
Yeah. That's the guy. But
okay.
So favorite DJ. Okay. Yeah. Dang, man, y'all got me stomped on that one. No, I can't say. I got somebody in mind. I ain't gonna say them because I don't rock with them no more. But I'll say, dang, DJ Premier. I don't know.
All day.
Technically. So yeah.
And last two questions: is hip hop healthier today or 20 years ago?
By healthier, what do you mean? Like
mentally, physically, spiritually, in a sense?
That's a hard question, man, because I feel like in some ways it is. I would say no. I would say no, it's not. I think no, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's strong in terms of like the the how much airplay and stuff it gets, but in terms of we not really musically, we're not really saying a lot. I'll be just being honest. Like from a bigger standpoint, from a ecosystem perspective, very strong, very healthy. But from a voice, the way we used to have, not at all.
And yes or no, is lyricism making a comeback?
No.
Okay. Michael, where can people find you?
I'm really active on Instagram. You can find me at Michael Jordan Payton. I know it's long, but somebody had took Michael J. Payton, and Michael B. Jordan stole my whole face and everything. So we're gonna talk about that. But Michael Jordan Payton on Instagram. I'm very active on there. You can get I'm just saying, brother. But I was supposed to be the twin in the movie in Sinners, but somehow my application, my tape got thrown out. But anyway, yeah, y'all can find me on Instagram, YouTube, same thing at Michael Jordan Payton. I'll be remiss if I don't say we actually are dropping. I think this week we are dropping the director's cut of a documentary I made with Kenneth Supreme McGriff that was executive produced by Mike Tyson, as well as a bunch of others, called the Supreme Truth. It's actually out right now on YouTube, but we're dropping the extended director's cut this week. So look for that on Gerald Prince Miller's YouTube page. So excited about that. And again, YouTube and Instagram are my weapons of choice.
Make sure you tag us, The Truth Radio in Milwaukee. Make sure you tag us on those when they come out, and we'll be
100%.
happy to comment and like and subscribe to the projects that you got going on. Michael J. I'm gonna say Michael J. Payton. Glad you came on to The Truth Radio and the Grapevine to pick some grapes with us, man. We definitely appreciate your love, your graciousness to stay on the extra time, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate you. This has been a great interview, man. And I'm dead serious. Next week I'm gonna come back for 5 minutes to talk about this project I got coming out, man. So y'all get ready, Milwaukee. Y'all gonna hear a lot from me.
That's right. We're gonna
appreciate the opportunity.
We're gonna expect you on that private jet next year, though.
y'all get a ride. Y'all can hop on with me.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. Thank you very much. We're gonna take this break. Thank you, Mike. Let's take this break now.
Thank you.
Make your home and family safer by properly getting rid of nasty chemicals and fire hazards. MMSD's Home Hazmat program offers 3 drop-off centers that are open all year long. It's fast and easy. You don't even have to get out of your car. And it's free to visit the drop-off. Lithium-ion batteries, old gas, propane tanks, they take all of that and more. For a list of things you can and cannot bring, locations and hours, go to MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only. No businesses.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Yes, yes. Man, that beat. Let me start freestyling real quick. Let's freestyle over that beat. Before we get into our next segment, I want to remind everybody that when you are going through life, it's you gotta hustle. It is about hustle. It ain't just about, just cruising. Sometimes you do have to hustle. So before we get into your church, your food, your doctor, I want to talk about your hustle, because everything we're discussing today started with somebody who had to grind just to survive. When did you have to hustle the hardest in your life? When did you have to hustle the hardest in your life? This is the Grapevine. I'm your host, Manan Sabir, on the Truth Radio 101.7, The Truth Nation. And we got a bunch of truthers that are next to us, that are around us, that are inside the building of the Truth Studios, including American Family Insurance as a proud sponsor of The Truth. For almost 100 years, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters the most: your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you're building every single day. And if you're part of the Truth audience, you already know you work hard for yours. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings, so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. That was a fantastic interview. That was a fantastic interview about Michael Jordan Payton, and his life and his journey from Oakland to New York back to LA. And what he was exhibiting was what we call hustle. And what I deem in part due to his sense of discipline, his worth, his self-worth. He was poured into by somebody, and he was able to multiply that pouring. His cup became overflowing. And he's also lending that information, that those affirmations into everybody else that's around him. So he developed a company called C-Suite Music to address recognizable needs in our community. This is real life. So thank you to Erica Odom. Thank you to Michael J. Payton. You guys did a fantastic job, and I really appreciate all the things that you have passed on to our listeners here at The Truth. Now, hustle in the Black community isn't a trend. It's a survival mechanism that's, ultimately passed down through generations. You had your grandfather or great-grandfather that was in Reconstruction, or great-great-grandfather that was, had to walk through themselves through Reconstruction. And then from there, they passed down that information, that hustle information, to your grandfather. And then from your grandfather, that information was passed down to your dad, and now to you. What are you doing? What are you doing? What was the moment in your life that you had to dig the deepest, where you was fighting tooth and nail to get from one space to the next? A lot of us, and I'm asking this question because a lot of us are in this space right now where, it's not all hoops and dreams. You can't just, switch, make a basket, and then, you're at the top. It doesn't work that way. Everybody is working hard to get to the next place. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a vision. What was the moment in your life? And call us. Give us a call. 833-212-1017. Let us know, or text us at that same number, or hit us up on the chat on YouTube, Truth Radio Live. What was the moment in your life where you had to dig the deepest, where you were fighting for what you needed to happen? You needed this thing to happen. What was that one thing? And I can say that I remember just talking about grandparents. I remember my grandfather, giving a sum of money to my uncle for him to start a nightclub, and it became one of the more successful nightclubs and cultural centers in the state of Wisconsin. It was on Martin Luther King Drive. I don't know. I think it was 4th Street at the time. I think 4th or 3rd Street. I think wherever Martin Luther King Drive is now. And he gave him, some money, and he was able to start the upstairs, downstairs, and the campus. And the concept of the upstairs, downstairs was the fact that he would have, some cultural things on one side of the building, and then the other side, so that cultural things could be considered, whatever it is, sports for kids, you name it. And then on the other side, it'd be a nightclub. And I think at one point he had a glass up, and the kids would be playing. They would just be leaving, having to go home, and then people would be going into the nightclub, going to boogaloo. So what was that point in you guys' lives where you had to hustle, or are you still hustling? Is it still hustle? I know it's not an uncommon thing to do that in the Black community, especially the Black community. And is there a difference between opportunities and an opportunity just for hustle's sake, or opportunity just to eat? Like, is there a difference? what's the difference between hustling for opportunity versus hustling just to eat? Is there a difference? I think for me, there is a great divide between hustling for opportunity, like you're hustling for, the opportunity to make it to a job or whatever, make it on the job, versus hustling just to eat. Because, hustling just to eat if you're looking to eat, like that is a real survival. That is a survival need. Like you need to eat. Like there has to be food in your belly, or else you're going to be struggling. And not just your belly, not just your body, but also the other person that's sitting next to you. Could be your spouse, your children, your grandparents, whoever. But is there a difference between hustling for opportunity and hustling just to eat? But also in correspondence to that, when does healthy hustle become a toxic grind? Right? What does that cost your body? We are we hustling to no end? I remember like building some businesses and building a business and looking up and finding myself not sleeping for like, days on end, literally days on end. There was this saying that Beyonce one day, there was this famous saying, Beyonce, she was on the set of one movie and then went to another movie, and she looked up and she found that she wasn't sleeping. And 50 Cent the same way. And other entertainers, the same exact thing. What keeps them going is this motor. But when you look up, you're looking at health issues, looking at insomnia or developed insomnia, acquired insomnia. You're looking at hypertension, and you're looking at obesity, things that you never thought you'd have to fight. You're fighting those. Milwaukee, I'm asking you, let's feel powerful. Let's do powerful. Let's be powerful. Today we talked about the hustle, how grinding to survive took something from your body that you never got back. We talked about soul food, how what fed us through the hardest times is now contributing to our hardest health battles. We talked about the Black church and how the place that saved our souls may need to stop saving our bodies too. And now I'm asking you, what are you going to change? Not tomorrow, not next year, this week. Get the checkup, modify one recipe, ask your pastor for a walking group, talk to one person about how you're really doing. The hustle was never supposed to kill you. The food was always supposed to nourish you, and the church was always supposed to heal you. So let's get back to that, Milwaukee. Let's get back to it. Take care of yourselves out there, for real. Next, we got Tap In with Jazz, Meech on The Truth 101.7. Thank y'all for listening, and I'm out to the Grapevine.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The Homeward Blow Foundation, Inc., nonprofit 501c3, and our presenting